Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Playing World of Tanks. I'm AJ, and today we'll be looking at a game that I had in my Object 140, which is the Russian Tier 10 medium tank. Now between the two of them, the T62A and the Object 140, I do like my T62A better, but I do not mind driving the Object 140 either. It's a very good tank, probably one of the best medium tanks in the game. The T62A just is more of my playstyle than the Object 140. The extra degree of gun depression, I would happily give up for the turret that the T62A gets. Now, as far as mobility is concerned, the invisible terrain resistances that Wargaming does not make public within its garage make their mobility somewhat even though the Object 140 on flat ground is slightly faster. Now, on Abbey, I played the map in a very particular fashion. I generally like to support my heavy tanks along the 1-2 line. And the reason for that is if you do that and you secure the 1-2 line, you can generally overcome any opposition in the middle. Now I'm going to take the Object 140 to this position right here. This position is really good with any tank that has a decent turret. I would not try this in a tank like the E50M or maybe the 121 either, just because the lack of gun depression will hurt you. I also would not try this in a Leopard 1 just because the Leopard 1 does not have any hull armor, and even though I don't get shot at a lot here, if you see the video all the way through, the few number of shots that I have that I will take, the Leopard 1 would not have bounced most of the time. So it's a very risk-reward position. If your heavies support you on this, you can hold off the flank pretty easily. This E50, unfortunately, is pretty stock. I don't think he had the top gun, so he gets taken out rather effectively. Also, as this T57 retreats, I managed to put 2 shots into him before he can get into cover, reducing his health by quite a fair bit. Now the Object 907 on the enemy team is doing the same thing on the opposite end, trying to support the flank in the middle. So I'm just going to stay here until something else drives up or the heavies decide to push further into their heavies. Now I try to see if I can get a shot at the T57. I can't. The Centurion sort of like comes over the top and decides to contest the position, but I think that was a very bad move on his part. He doesn't nearly have the armor of any 100, which should have like came up there and sort of like tried to contest that position from me. But it is what it is. Now I see the E100 just fired, and I have AP loaded. I'm trying to search out his lower plate, but he hides it fairly well. So I try to aim for the bar up top, and I managed to hit it. Next round, I'm gonna load a gold shell just because the E100 is not driving his tank fairly well. He's just pointing his turret straight at me, which is sort of like a magnet for heat shells, and you'll get penned rather easily. Now, both of their heavy tanks get taken out on this flank, and the Object 907 retreats. And from now on, it's just a matter of time before we rout them out. As you see, like since I was where I was able to take out tanks in the middle of the map and also tanks that were coming along the 1-2 line. So if you're in the medium tank, all you have to do if you're in Abbey is try to hold it for the most part, and let your heavy tanks progress along the 1-2 line. You don't necessarily have to contest the Abbey as hard as some people do, like sending up like 4 out of their 6 medium tanks is a little bit excessive as far as I'm concerned, but it is what it is. Now over here I sort of like pay for not knowing how the Object 907's armor layout is. I see the 907 retreating and I fire, penning him pretty easily, and he sticks around for another shot. I pen him again, and some weird problem with the replay just happened. I don't know what that is. However, now I make a very bad mistake. I load an HE round thinking, that HE round on the 140 should be enough to take out the last hit point, but it isn't. So I'll come over here, try to HE him, but if I had an AP loaded, he would have been dead right there. Now I pay for my mistake again by not knowing how good or bad the armor layout is. By rushing my shot here, I miss the Object 907's cupola, and he makes it so that he was waiting for a shot, but the AMX 5120, who was camping in base the entire time, started shooting at me. The RD also has a certain interest in my position, and so over here the Object 140, the AMX 5120 can't really do much just because I'm more or less hull down. Also the fact that unless he hits the release, grazes the top of my turret, he's not going to actually do damage to me that easily. The AMX 5120 retreats, and the only thing that's left is the E75 that I saw on the right side. I'd look at him and fire clutch just because I kind of like knew that the tank in front of me was going to take a shot, and that would just put the E75. Now the rest of this game I drive around rather aimlessly trying to get more damage. I should have just gone towards the 1-2 line and just rushed the mouse that was there. Instead, I think that the mouse was I thought if the mouse hadn't come back yet, he might have been halfway to our base, but I was kind of wrong about that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like and subscribe. I'll be posting some more content on Friday, and hopefully I'll see you in the next episode.